Good evening, engineers and all YouTubers. This is the LA engineering student. And what have we been working on today? Well, today we finished this one. We finished this one and we started and finished this one. These are going to go on top of each of the surfboards. They're going to be my outriggers for my Windsurfmaran. And you will see they're quite sturdy. We have good resistance translation in the Z direction. If this was the, let's say, direction we're going, we'll call that X. We have good rotation. Oh, so if this is Y, let's say we have good rotation about the Y axis. That's really solid. Now you might be looking at this and say, well, what about the shear forces like that? I am going to have a cross member bolted across there. But this is what I see to you. I could probably right now stand on this. So this has two in here, two in there, two in there, and then two here and two there. So ideally, if it was going to go under a silly amount of shear, I might put a cross member there or two cross members, but it's really not going to get that much force. Being out in the water, there's almost no way for the water to put that much shear force on this frame member. So what is next for our fabulous little Taiga Swift here? We have some work to do on the rear frame. Sorry about my oatmeal. So this rear frame goes something like that. Got to be careful, it's a little bit tail heavy. And then that frame member over there goes on the front. So that frame member goes on the front. We have a big 2x4 that's hiding behind the surfboards. That's going to go all the way across. It's going to be my main cross member. And then we'll have two surfboards, one on each side, with this on the top of each of them. These will be strapped to those boards. That's going to be strapped and secured to this. We have kind of 3 or 4 little projects left. I need to shift my lard ass forward. Originally I had the seat here. Is that right? No. So originally the seat was here, but that's too far back. Not too far back at speed, but it's too far back given the extra weight of the frame that's going on. So we're going to try to move this about 14 inches, somewhere between, I don't know, about 1.5 feet, 18 inches give or take, to the bow. I want to say astern is to the rear. I'm trying to think of what more forward is in nautical terms. Forgive me, I don't spend as much time on the ocean as I should. But we're going to move my seating position forward, and that's going to mean we're probably going to need to move my little foot pedals forward, but that's not such a big deal because I will probably leave these in place because they're glued in. But I will just make 2 more new ones of these, move this maybe up here somewhere. Of course, it gets a little funny because I have a centerboard, and the centerboard is somewhat critical, so I might, and I hate to do this, but I might sort of might take a break on the foot pedals, but it's just, I really want to have both hands free. It's just kind of a little more convenient. I've seen people with homemade trimarans and they just kind of run a simple cord and then they kind of pull or push on the cord depending on which way they want the rudder to go. But I really like the idea of being hands-free so that I can control the sail, hold the camera maybe, things like that. So that was kind of why I put them here initially, because I wanted to still be able to reach this. And you'll notice when the pedals are up, it is a little bit of a pain for me to reach the centerboard. So ultimately, I might try to get some kind of pulley arrangement. It's not really set up for a pulley arrangement. I'd have to kind of jerry-rig something, but so I got to move my lard butt forward. I got to do something about the steering. I already have the rudder and everything built. I need to do just a little bit of work on these brackets. This one bent a little bit. I'm probably going to put a third one there, and I may or may not locate that screw. Locate this. Oh, come on. Come on, there we go. Oh, jeez. Why does this camera hate me? So you'll notice it kind of lifted up. I might drill a hole a little bit closer there. These brackets aren't really meant for... I mean, they held up well, but I kind of had someone helping me, and he was being kind of impatient. He wanted me to drag the boat and all this stuff. And the rudder was sort of partway out. It was sort of half installed, and it kind of dragged a little bit. So part of that is because I dragged it up on the beach, and part of that is because these brackets aren't exactly designed for the kind of forces I was giving him, but that's okay. We also have the seat post here, which, man, we have the seat post here, and this post actually got a little bit boogered, so we are going to probably rip this 2x6. Wow, I don't know why my screen is so grainy right now. Probably going to rip this 2x6 into a kind of a 1x1 or something of that nature. There we go. So we have the move my butt forward, move the seat post forward, work on the steering. Oh, and I need to move the main support forward. So originally you can kind of see it was about right here, but because the sail it's really compact. It's it's an 11-foot board, but by the time you get the sail on there, the thing wasn't designed to have someone sitting on the back. So if I'm sitting over here and the sail's coming like this, I can't have the sail be hitting me in the face. That's a little silly, right? So I have to move the sail forward, and moving the sail mount forward, even it's going to be not in the original track. I'm going to have to make kind of a little custom track for it, or a custom mount for it, but that's okay. It's just a carriage bolt and a nut, no big deal. So I'm going to move that forward. That's also going to help shift my center of weight forward, so that when I'm sitting in the back, I have a little bit of weight up front to kind of balance that out. So that's about where we are on the boat, and you might be asking yourself, well, how does this relate to engineering? Well, other than, putting together simple trusses like that, I have to admit, I'm not really doing strength calculations on fittings like that. I do have some calculations on the website if you're interested, windsurfmaran.wordpress.com. I'll try to remember to put a link in the video description. But this project is not as much about engineering as it is about perseverance. I started this project a year ago, been working on it on and off during school. Kind of been slow the last few months. I'm a little bit embarrassed I haven't made a lot of progress. I've been sort of waiting on what I was going to do with these pieces. I wasn't sure how long I wanted them, the dimensions and all that. And finally I just said, you know what, I just got to make them. The whole thing is kind of a test in general, but so I cut them, and then these pieces, all these 45-degree miters were kind of giving me a headache. I have a skill saw, but it's just, even if you get the guides and everything right, it kind of wants to walk a little bit sometimes on those 45-degree, on those miter cuts. So I finally got to my buddy's house, got those cut, got that all put together. So I don't know if I'm in the home stretch, but we're definitely on the way. And not only is this kind of a project about perseverance, but it's just about kind of, doing something unique. Anybody can go buy a sailboat. Anybody can go jump in a kayak, get on a surfboard, and go play in the water. But I'm crazy, So for whatever reason, I had this idea that I wanted to build this boat, partly because school was kind of bumming me out a little bit. I wanted to take my mind off the grind of homework and such. And it's turned out to just be a really interesting adventure, and I really can't wait to get out on the water. Of course, that's a whole goal with all of this. We'll see here. Got 6 weeks till school's done. I should have enough time to kind of put some work into this, get it all together. You will notice that I'm in an apartment, and of course one of the main purposes of this is that it fits in the apartment. I'm on the second floor. I got, railings and stairs and all this stuff I got to navigate. You should see me trying to carry this board down the stairs. It's a freaking behemoth. But I wanted to be able, I have an SUV. I don't have a trailer. I don't have a truck. So I want to be able to put it all, the boards are going to go on top of the car. Going to be a little bit crazy, but they're going to go on top of the car. Everything else is going to go inside, and I'm going to have a boat in my car with no trailer. I can go up to any beach, well, theoretically I could launch from any beach. The lifeguards don't really want you launching boats from certain beaches, but at Cabrillo Beach, I have permission from the lifeguards to launch from the water, or launch from the beach. I could launch from the boat ramp, but the thing is, it takes me like an hour to put the whole thing together. So unless I had a trailer, I'd put the whole thing together on the trailer and then kind of back it into the water, but I don't really have that set up. So I have to kind of park, put everything on the parking lot side of the beach, put it all together, and then drag it to the water. So it is kind of a nightmare in that aspect. But, you know, it's all a learning experience. I think what I'm going to do before I end up going down there is, last time I sort of had like a land surfing board, a skateboard for like windsurfing on land. Anyways, I don't know if it's called land surfing or kite surfing or whatever, but can't call it kiteboarding, of course. So I'll probably do some kind of roller thing to where I can get the whole thing together, put it on the wheels, and then just carry the front and walk it down to the beach. And that's a little bit easier way to go because, of course, we have these fins. Now, I'm probably going to take the center fin out, partially because I don't think I need that many fins, and partially because I don't think I have a center fin for that one. I don't know. I don't think so. And of course I need to mount this fin back on because it was, well, let's just say it had a rough life. The previous owner wasn't a master in fiberglass. I am certainly not either. In fact, I've been procrastinating remounting this to the board because fiberglass isn't the biggest deal in the world and it doesn't need to be super strong, but just sometimes get a little bit nervous about stuff that I don't have a ton of experience with. And I have done a little bit of fiberglass repair on the boat. Hasn't turned out too terrible. Just need to get that hot coat. Apparently for the hot coat, you mix up your epoxy or your resin and then you put a little bit of acetone in there, and that kind of gives it a little bit of that gloss finish. So until next time, check out some of my other videos. One of my last videos, I just posted a lot of the different types of jobs I'm applying for. So if you're wondering, well, what kind of jobs is someone who's building a boat, you know, looking for, you'll see. It would kind of be cool to work for a company that designs boats like Hobie Cat or something like that, but you know, there just aren't a lot of companies that design boats. I mean, I would love to work on, you know, hydrofoils and do CFD for like Team Oracle or something like that, but we'll see. I don't know if when this boat's done, it's going to make people want to hire me or want to make people run away from me as fast as possible. But that's not really why I'm doing it. I'm doing it because I want to do it, because I enjoy doing it, and because life's short, you know? And I think this might be one of the only homemade trimarans out of surfboards and a windsurfing board that I've ever seen. I've seen a catamaran with 2 surfboards or maybe 2 windsurfing boards. I've seen windsurfing boards used like cut in half and used as outriggers. I've seen kind of custom stuff with kayaks and canoes, but I've never seen a sailboat based on a windsurfing board in the center with 2 surfboards on the side. So we'll see whether or not I can get in Guinness Book of World Records for the most unique trimaran. And ultimately, I know this is going to sound crazy, and I know you're not going to believe me, but that's okay. Ultimately, I'm actually considering trying to get some hydrofoil action with this thing. If you've ever heard of Le Hydroptere, it's L'Hydroptere. It's a French trimaran, and I don't think it's the fastest boat in the world because I think they purpose-built a hydrofoil that did like, you know, 70 or 80 knots or something ridiculous, but I believe it's like one of the fastest trimarans in the world. It's just epically large, awesome, amazing craft. So one day I hope to maybe hydrofoil this bad boy. Probably not enough power just with the one sail. I might need to go to a twin sail system like a Hobie Cat trifoiler. Definitely, if you've never heard of the trifoiler, look up a Hobie Cat trifoiler, look up the French trimaran Le Hydroptere. I guarantee they're going to blow your mind. The hydrofoiler especially, that thing turns like a Formula car on the water. It's just unreal. So, until next time, YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, keep building, and keep engineering.